easier. Will this ever get
There's the 131 here. Today I'm gonna be making a part 2 to Pokemon improvements. I made a part 1 already. But yeah, this is temporary, but this is the title screen. Like I said, don't clown on me for this, alright? That Tanzanite logo could be changed to something else, but this will be temporary. It'll be called Tanzanite, or you could name it any other name, but yeah, Tanzanite. And Jade obviously is very self-explanatory, but like orange. Let us cue to the next photo. This is what the screen will look like. Not the screen, but the UI for the battle screen. Let me open this real quick. So you have this same thing, except moved at the bottom. But above this, you have your trainer, because the trainer's gonna be fighting as well. Because we obviously need the trainer to fight, because we can't just let the trainer not do anything. So you'll fight alongside your Pokemon. And it boggles my mind why Game Freak hasn't thought about this yet. Even though every other game that's inspired by this has done it already. But and SMT came out before this, and before SMT it was Digital Story Megami Tensei, and there's a bunch of other Monster Collection games that came up before that are way earlier than this. But the earliest one you may know of is Digital Devil Story Megami Tensei. But yeah, same screen, nothing has changed except you could now the trainer's up there. Let me cue to the next image. Same thing here. Trainer names up there. And these brackets represent the amount of Pokeballs. And this will be the same for 3 trainers as well. And 3 trainers will summon out their first Pokemon. And above the battle button, there'll be a battle button for the trainer, which will be called attack. And it will have a human icon, which I told my friend that's going to be like the restroom logo, like here. But it will be up here, and it will be called attack. So that's what I would improve. Let me cue to what I told my friend. Not in Kira Paint. Please excuse me, for a minute. Now here's what I will change. I will put a hotel in the game, right? And make the NPCs not walk like they're in a 2-dimensional thing, and make so that you can climb up these mountains as well. And also NPCs will now have a daily routine now. I don't think Game Freak can implement this. But if they do, please hire me. All right. But if you go to the Pokemon Center at night and the gym, there will not be NPCs in there, and all of the trainers that are standing there that are just waiting for you to fight them will all go home for the night. You can only battle a gym leader during the day, so you have to plan out your routes and your time. You will have social links, or also known as bounds if you play Metador, and you will have an actual story. Yes, there will be an actual story to this, and side quest, and you can have multiple endings. So the normal ending, which is like the neutral one, the chaos ending, which you will still live in harmony, but there'll still be chaos, and then you will have the true ending. The neutral ending, you still have the neutral ending is not going to be the true ending though. But whatever you do in this world will affect the ending. And you will still fight an organization, and you will still collect badges like normal. That's the objective, but it will have actual relevance of a story rather than you being a one-dimensional character, which is your trainer so far. So because you can't battle at night anymore, you have to go to the hotel and sleep and wait for it to become daytime. and that will cost $Poké. So we will add the battle tower somewhere in this map so that you can grind up enough money that you can use for hotels and items and stuff, because you will have a limited amount of trainers. And we will add more Pokemon, money like Pokemon, that will give you such money, right? Because Pokemon can't drop money. Not normal Pokemon anyway, except for like Meowth or whatever, right? And then we will also have you battle Pokemon that will give you, this could be from, you can implement this if you want, that will give you elixir for your trainer, because you need some way to get your trainer to like you need some way to get their power points bar up, right? That's inspired off magic butterflies, but we don't need but if you don't want Pokemon to do that, we're just gonna make it a buyable item. So you have a trainer elixir too, but it's not called trainer elixir. Scrap that. No, normal elixir. It will work on, it will be the same thing, except it will work on both Pokemon and trainers. Also, we will have a human Pokemon Center, unless I can combine the normal Pokemon Center into so that Nurse Joy can heal both Pokemon and humans. And how is the trainer supposed to inherit moves? Simple. The trainer will wear something around his wristband that will let him inherit Pokemon moves. Because if I want it, because he has to be a Pokemon to do that, but that's already Mystery Dungeon. But yeah, that is by improvements, and only have a story. That's the 1-1 sign off. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one thing before I sign off, of course. This is the screen in the overworld. The overworld behind you. This is the screen when you hit the select button, or one of the buttons on your controller. I mean, it looks pretty bland, but I could probably change. They should probably change that. But this will have a couple of options: a quest button, and also a skills button, which I guess you could just select Pokemon here and use skill. Yeah, a skills button, but for your trainers. And a social link button. They should have also had one for the Pokemon too, somewhere here, but I guess you have to go in town for that. I never played this game, but yeah. A bond / social skills, social link system. Like, there'll be a social link / bonds in here. But yeah, those are the two buttons that will be added here. So yeah. And I would say fusions, but to be honest, you can just go back to a professor or somewhere in town where you can or you could go to a random professor that invented Pokemon fusions and fuse 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 to make a new Pokemon species. I don't know why that's not in the game. It's in Persona, it's in Shin Megami Tensei, it's in all the Shin Megami Tensei spin-offs, but not the main game that everyone, not the main Pokemon game that everyone likes. Everyone wants fusion, but Game Freak refuses to listen to its fan base, and I highly doubt they're gonna do my ideas. But Game Freak, please do these ideas. Your series is going to die. This is 131 signing off. But yeah, if I have any more suggestions, I'll make part 3. But yeah, like I said, more of a story, and then adding a trainer party. I think I forgot that in here. And then, you're gonna run out of space, but like, that could be its own separate screen. But a trainer party, because I didn't mention that earlier. And then a trainer skills, because trainers can learn healing skills, because they have 8 moves now. But yeah, skills, bond system / social links, and yeah, that's what I would add in this menu for all my additions. But yeah, I emailed Game Freak, they haven't responded. But yeah, that's what I would add. But yeah, that's what we're on signing off.